basically like ideas about the world, right? So,
Like the Rome?
huh?
Like the Rome?
Yeah, Romans. The Romans were philosophers. There was a lot of Roman philosophers, right? Greeks too. Okay, there were a lot of Greek philosophers. Remember we talked about guys like Plato and Aristotle who came up with ideas about the world and how everything works? Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, during this period, the Enlightenment, okay, there was a lot of other philosophers from all over the world. Hello. You guys are going to stay in here, you're going to be in the back, okay? It's fine, they're here to help, okay? Okay. Are you going to film using that thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Georgie, I need your head up, please. Because what we're going to do is, I'm going to give you a really brief little talk about what the Enlightenment was, okay? And then we're going to each get our philosopher, and I'm going to assign you each a different philosopher, and you're going to have to read about your philosopher and fill out a reading guide, which says that you guys know all the important information about that philosopher, okay? So, here are your reading guides. Now, before we start, we have to know just a little tiny bit about the Enlightenment, okay? So, who can show me on the board? When did the Enlightenment happen?
1600s and 1700s.
Good, the 1600s and 1700s. The last week we talked about, yeah, good, Rudy. Yeah, 1600s to 1700s. The last week we talked about the scientific revolution. Can anybody maybe describe that to me? What was the scientific revolution? Monte, head up, please. Can you tell me? What was the scientific revolution like? Well, what did we talk about? We talked about... Okay. Devontae, do you remember? No? Kevin, do you remember?
With the math dude and astronomers dude.
Good. Astronomers and mathematicians, right? And what did they start to do, these smart guys?
Olympics.
No, the Olympics was a little earlier.
They start putting their ideas together and...
Good. Very good. You're absolutely right, Kevin. Okay? Kevin's going to get a point for that. Okay? They started putting their ideas together. All right? And when they started putting their ideas together, they started learning more and more about the world. Right? For example, what's one of the things they learned about the world during that time? What did they learn about, let's say, space?
The North Star.
Okay.
The sun is in the middle of the earth.
What?
The sun is
They learned that the sun is in the middle of the universe. Very good, Armando. They learned that the sun is in the middle of the universe, right?
Yeah.
Not the earth. Okay? Is that important?
Yes.
Yeah, of course it's important, right? It's very important. Okay? What else did they learn? Who were the guys in it? Do you remember that at least? Who were the guys in the scientific revolution? What are some of the things that they came up with?
They went to
Navigation.
Okay, they learned how to navigate. Good. That means what? What does navigate mean?
How where to go.
How to get around, right?
Yeah.
How about Devontae? Who is the guy who built the telescope?
What was the name?
Let's see. Starts with
Girarmando?
close. The guy who starts with a G.
Galileo.
Galileo.
Damn, right after
Okay.
high school.
Remember, he built the telescope. Good. The high school is named after him, right? Galileo High.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. He built that telescope, and what did he do with the telescope?
Look up at the
Look
sky.
at the sky.
He looked up at planets, right? Okay. How about the guy? Who was the guy who talked about why things fall? Why do things fall?
Because
Gravity.
Gravity, right? Who was the guy who figured out gravity?
Nikola.
No, not. No.
Isaac
Isaac Newton. Remember we talked about him?
Yeah.
Okay. He was a guy who said, hey, I'm going to figure out gravity. And he actually used math to describe gravity, right? He actually talked about gravity in terms of math. Monte, can you keep your head up the whole time, please? Huh? Okay. That's fine. Good. If you want to find your notes, that's fine. Okay. So, after the scientific revolution, okay, there's this period we call the Enlightenment, 1600s to 1700s. And during the Enlightenment, people got all brand new ideas, just like during the scientific revolution. Well, Mr. Cruz, what's up?
The machine, the learning center is not gonna work.
What
I
machine?
sent you an email about that.
For whom?
For the machine. Being in there.
Well, he's got it for one period.
How's everybody doing?
It's just this period.
Hey, am I being filmed?
You are?
Without my consent? You turn that off right now. I can't breathe.
Please stop.
Hands up.
It already took me so long to get them just to this point.
I love you guys.
We have so
Have a good
many,
class.
so many who refuse to be filmed. Georgie, hey Georgie, sweetheart, Georgie, can you turn and face me, please? Georgie, I really want you to be successful on this final, and I really need you to face me so I know you're paying attention. Please. Can you just turn and so I know you're paying attention to me? Right? I want you to pass the class. I want you to be paying attention. Okay? Are you listening? What am I talking about? Guys, what am I talking about?
Who's been the first principal?
This right here. The
The
okay? I'm talking about the Enlightenment.
Enlightenment.
Okay? The Enlightenment. Let's everybody get on the same page here.
The Enlightenment.
The Enlightenment. Good. And what was the Enlightenment about? It was about new ideas. Okay? Now, during the scientific revolution, those new ideas were in what fields, would you say? Like, what did people get new ideas about during the scientific revolution?
Building a telescope.
Yeah, science, right, and
Math.
and math,
Math.
right?
Yeah.
So they got new ideas about science and math. During the Enlightenment, it's all about new ideas about government. Okay, government. Does everybody know what government means?
Yeah.
Democracy.
Okay, democracy is a kind of government, right?
Time
A
was
monarchy.
A monarchy is another kind of government. Very good. Okay, anarchy is another kind of government. Yeah. What kind of government is anarchy?
Free. Everything.
Only one person rules. No,
Is it
only
what an
few
anarchy?
person, few people.
No, an anarchy means there are no rules.
People can do
So
what they
there are
want.
no
I think
laws.
somebody ruler.
Huh? Well, what do we call it when there's one ruler? What kind of government is that? Huh? A monarchy, right? If there's a monarchy, that means there's one guy and he makes the rules. Armando, do we live in a monarchy?
No.
Yeah.
No. Why?
Because
Do we have a king?
no.
No, we don't have a king, right? What do we have?
President.
We have a president. And how does the president get to where he is?
Voting.
We vote on him, right? Do people vote on kings?
No.
No, people don't vote on kings, right? Kings are there. How do you become a king?
By blood.
Yeah, by blood.
Blood.
Good. Your father was the king, right? Or your
Yeah.
mother or whatever, and then you become the king. So it's all about your family, right? Huh? Yeah, your majesty. Okay, but in America we don't believe in that, do we?
No.
So how do we, first of all, who makes laws in America? I know we talked about this.
The Senate.
The what?
The Senate.
The Senate, good. What's the Senate's part of what? There's a big word for it.
The
Starts with a C.
The Congress?
The
Good, excellent, Monte. The Congress. The Congress makes laws in America. And how do people get to the Congress?
Voting people.
We vote on them, right?
Mhm.
Good. There are what, Devontae?
Representative.
They are our representatives. Okay? Now, during the Enlightenment, okay, first of all, before the Enlightenment, most places had monarchies, which means, well, how were the rules made in most places?
In my piece,
By
only
king.
one person.
By what?
By king.
By a king. Very good. Most places, a king made all the rules. During the Enlightenment, people are going to start thinking about new ideas about government. They're going to say, hey, maybe a king isn't the best way to run a government. Maybe a king's not the best. What do you think they decided was probably one of the better ideas? What was that, Monte?
Democracy.
A democracy, absolutely. A lot of our ideas about democracy
Monte, what was that?
are going to come from this period. Democracy. What's a democracy, Devontae?
The people that's in the office.
Huh?
When you vote on people.
When you vote on people. Good. A democracy is when you vote on
And
people.
then the
Okay?
representatives is
Huh?
the people that help.
Excellent. And then you get representatives, and then those people make the laws. Okay, so I need everybody's eyes on the board. Everybody. Joseph, eyes on the board. Now, please, Georgie, eyes on the board. Okay, the scientific revolution in Europe got people thinking about rational ways to explain the world. Okay, that means ways that we can explain using science, not just talking about religion, right? So remember, before the scientific revolution, people said, hey, the earth is the center of the universe because God put it there. But after the scientific revolution, what did people realize?
That we're not in the center.
We're not in the center, right? And really the sun is in the center. And there are a lot of planets just like us. Basically, we're not as special as we thought we were, right?
Right.
That's big planets.
Yeah, there are big planets, there are small planets, okay? People started to rely on reason and logic, okay? People said, hey, I'm going to explain the world using science because science makes sense. It's the best way to explain things, okay?
But the laws are meant to be broken.
The Enlightenment was a period when a number of different philosophers started thinking about how government should work. Now, again, does everybody understand what a philosopher is?
I do.
What is a philosopher, Devante?
I forgot.
A person who thinks about new ideas. Okay? That's it. It's very simple. A philosopher. So most philosophers during the Enlightenment were thinking about new ideas about what?
How the government should work.
How the government should work. Good. Can you explain that? What were most Enlightenment philosophers talking about? How government should work. Rudy? Can you be less distracted? Okay. What were most Enlightenment philosophers thinking about, Rudy?
How government should work.
How government should work. Can you explain that? How government should work. That's their big idea, okay? Now, there was a bunch of guys that all were thinking about governments at this point. And for our project, this is big, guys, so I need everybody's eyes here. Joseph, eyes on me, please. Georgie, eyes on me, please. For the end of the year project, for the final project, each of you is going to be assigned a different philosopher, okay?
Can I get Magic Johnson?
Magic Johnson was not a philosopher, unfortunately. Each of you is going to get a different philosopher. Okay? Each of you is going to make a presentation about the philosopher. You're going to put it on a poster board. Okay? You're going to include a picture of the philosopher, and you're going to sort of explain what his ideas were. Okay? That's very good that you said that. Who did you say? Machiavelli. He's not one of the ones that we're going to talk about, but he is a philosopher. You're absolutely right. And what were Machiavelli's ideas about? That was Leonardo da Vinci. Machiavelli he also talked about government.
Oh, Machiavelli. What's he tell, like,